In this video, I'll demonstrate how to set up your first backup with Carbon Copy Cloner, and then we'll poke around a little bit and see some of the other features CCC has to offer. In this case, I want to back up my startup disk, Macintosh HD, to this new disk that I just bought and attached to my Mac, and renamed CCC Backup. I'll open CCC, and then select my source and destination. Macintosh HD as the source, CCC Backup as the destination. When you select a destination volume, the Backup Volume Setup Assistant appears and offers some advice on how to format the destination. In this case, we can see that the new disk came partitioned with the fdisk partition scheme and formatted with the exFAT file system. While these settings are fine for a Windows system, they aren't very good for making backups of your Mac. CCC will suggest that you erase that as APFS instead. APFS uses storage space more efficiently, has native support for file system encryption, and offers support for file system snapshots, which we can use for backup versioning. So we'll enable snapshots by default, and I'd like to also go ahead and enable encryption. Just check that box, provide a password, and then click Erase. Because I enabled encryption, CCC prompts me to save that password. This isn't required, but if you would like CCC to automatically unlock and mount that volume, go ahead and provide that password. Next, I'll click on the automation selector and configure this task to run on an hourly basis. Every hour on the hour. Click Done, then Save, and now I'm all set. This task will run every hour, making a backup of my startup disk to that new properly formatted CCC backup volume. Next, I can click Start to go ahead and run that task right away. As the task runs, CCC will enumerate content on the source and show the number of files discovered and the amount of data discovered. Likewise, it'll show how many files have been evaluated and how many files have been copied. Over here on the right, we have a chart that shows the number of files processed per second and the amount of data written to the destination per second. If you don't like these colors, you can click these little color dots over here to change them. At this point, CCC has completed discovery of files on the source, so now the progress bar at the top shows that we're about 50% complete. We also see a time remaining indicator down here. Now, you don't have to keep CCC open while your task runs. If you'd like, you can close this window and the task continues to run in the background. If you'd like to see your task progress, you can click on the CCC icon on the menu bar. This shows the CCC dashboard, and you can see a list of tasks here along with their progress. If you want to see a little bit more activity than that, you can click on this settings icon and ask CCC to show the mini progress window while a task is running. Now whenever a task is running, you'll see this progress window. If you don't want to see it, you can go ahead and click that again to hide it. I'm going to reopen CCC now so that we can see what happens when that task is completed. Once that task completes, the task plan will show a summary of the activity, time elapsed, files copied, amount of data copied. You can also click this Show Event button to see the event in CCC's task history window. You'll see some basic stats, but in the Audit tab, you'll see a complete record of all of the changes that CCC made to the destination. In this case, CCC copied everything, so you'll see every application and user file that was copied to that destination. Next, I'd like to make a backup of this other disk that I have attached to my Mac, named Media. I'll click New Task in the toolbar. We'll name this Media Backup. Then I will click on the source selector and choose Media as the source. And then I'll choose CCC Backup as the destination again. The Backup Volume Setup Assistant appears again, and this time points out that there's a potential conflict with another task. I don't really want to back up both source volumes to the same destination volume. That causes the content to mingle together, and it can make future restore activity difficult. So instead, I'm going to add a volume to this destination device. We'll take the suggested name, Backup of Media, and I could optionally enable encryption and snapshots on that. I'll keep snapshots enabled, but this time I won't enable encryption. Now I have a new backup volume dedicated for this particular backup task. I could go ahead and schedule this task as well, but let's take a look at another feature that CCC can do to chain these tasks together. I'll select that CCC backup task in the sidebar. We'll save the changes to this task. Click Advanced Settings, and then in the Post-Flight tab, I can choose to run that media backup task as a post-flight event. So now when this task runs at its scheduled runtime on the hour, it'll perform its own backup and then start the media backup. Go ahead and click Save to save those changes. Next, you'll notice that there's two buttons down here. Standard Copy and then Start has this little rocket icon. When you configure the destination using the Backup Volume Setup Assistant, and you assert that this destination is dedicated to the CCC backup task, CCC will enable the Quick Update feature by default. When the Quick Update feature is enabled, CCC can ask the macOS FS Events service for a list of folders that have seen modifications since the last time that the backup task ran. This allows us to compare far fewer folders and files for changes, making your backup tasks faster. If you'd like to run a complete audit of the destination though, you can click Standard Copy to not have the Quick Update feature applied. I'll go ahead and click on Start, and you'll see that the Quick Update feature makes this task run very quickly. It should take just a few seconds, and then CCC will run the media backup task as well. If you have questions about setting up your first backup task or any other questions about CCC, click on the Help menu and choose Ask a Question about CCC. We're happy to help you get things set up right.